All right. Well, I hope all of you are doing well and healthy during this pandemic. My name is Cindy, and I will be the master of ceremony for today's event. So today we gather here to launch the Indonesian Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea, as well as the first workshop on enhancing Indonesia-South Korea partnership under the new Southern Policy Plus framework. So the Indonesian Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea is a platform for Indonesian journalists to increase their understanding and expand their networks on Indonesia-Korea related issues. So first and foremost, we would like to extend our gratitude to the Korea Foundation for the long-term partnership and excellent cooperation in co-organizing this program. This program specifically aims to create a growing pool of dedicated Indonesian journalists who share interests in Korean issues. So under this one-year program, participating journalists will be exposed to Korean affairs and Indonesia-Korea relations through a series of workshops and a week-long institutional visit to South Korea. Additionally, this program seeks to foster media participation in shaping perceptions and policies on Indonesia and South Korea. So before we dive in, please take a look at the video profile of the co-organizers, Korea Foundation and Policy Community of Indonesia.
Public diplomacy, connecting people, bridging the world. The KF is at the core of these efforts. Years of experience bridging people to people and Korea with the world has fostered our know-how in the field of international cooperation. The KF has established professorships in 91 universities in 16 countries, invited over 11,000 influential figures and future generation leaders from abroad to Korea, installed Korea rooms in 28 world-class museums in 10 countries, and supported 7,200 people in Korea-related research through our KF fellowships. Since its establishment in 1991, the KF has served as Korea's door to the world. With our headquarters in Jeju, Seoul Global Center, ASEAN Culture House in Busan, and multiple foreign branches, the KF, designated as Korea's official public diplomacy institution, strives to disseminate correct knowledge and information on the Republic of Korea to the global community. The KF fosters Korea experts across the world with the goal of helping the global community better recognize and understand the Republic of Korea. We work to expand global Korean studies research infrastructure by establishing Korean studies professorships abroad and by sending visiting professors to enable more young people to learn about Korea at renowned world universities and research institutions. We also promote in-depth research on Korea by supporting in-country studies by Korea experts from around the world through our Rising Researcher Support programs. Additionally, we host workshops for educators, bringing experts in humanities and social studies to Korea so that they can practice Korean, strengthen their educational abilities on Korea-related issues, and engage in networking. The KF aims to establish a leading role for Korea within the global knowledge community and strives to expand a pro-Korean network in the international community. In order to do this, we invite distinguished figures from around the world to Korea and engage in a next-generation leaders invitation program. Guests come from countries with which we hope to enhance our relationship and establish a firm human foundation that will better connect Korea with the world. By supporting studies on Korea through renowned policy-oriented research programs, we are also able to promote research by the international community on core issues related to Korea. And by hosting bilateral or multilateral forums, we strive to enable the international community to sympathize with and understand Korea's core policies. The KF provides opportunities for global growth for Korean talents through the Global Challengers Program. Internship programs that take place on the international stage act as the foundation for our talents to learn a global touch and acquire expertise. Public diplomacy connects communities with the world through the soft power of public citizens and the private sector. As a Korean public diplomacy institution, we seek to boost the public's diplomatic power. the Korea Central Asia Cooperation Forum Secretariat, whose importance was recognized by the President of Korea during his tour of the Central Asian countries in April 2019, continues to build a future-oriented relationship with the countries of Central Asia. Korean art and culture are introduced through the Korea Festival. We bring Korean culture to diverse parts of the world through performances and exhibitions that encompass tradition and modernity, as well as through colorful art and cultural programs. Furthermore, we increase awareness of Korean culture for guests at foreign museums by hosting programs to establish Korea Rooms. We produce and publish foreign language magazines and publications, including our quarterly magazine, Koreana, to share Korea with the world. And we provide continuous support for Korean media by hosting special screenings of Korean films through Korean diplomatic missions abroad or at foreign international film festivals. The KF pursues mutual cultural exchange between the Republic of Korea and foreign countries in order to provide opportunities for Korean citizens to experience diverse foreign cultures. Additionally, the ASEAN Culture House actively hosts cultural and people-to-people exchanges and academic activities, serving as an international platform for Korea and ASEAN to better know one another. The KF is proud to stand with you as a professional public diplomacy institution working to raise the status of the Republic of Korea and to serve as a leader into the future by setting global agendas. Korea Foundation.
So the 10 of you here today have been selected based on your analytical skills, your career achievements and awards, and your commitment to contribute to the goal of the program. And we believe you are able to raise public awareness in Indonesia about Indonesia-Korea affairs through your article writings. So the 10 selected journalists here today, please stand up and wave to the camera when I call on you. So in no particular order, first we have from Antara, Deska Lydia Natalia. From Republika, Idealisa Masyrafina. From CNN Indonesia, Rifa Destania. From Liputan6.com, Tanti Yulianingsih. From Kompas, Aditya Ramadan. Business Indonesia, Ana Noviani. From the Jakarta Post, Dian Setiari. From Rakyat Merdeka, Muhammad Rusmadi. From Tempo, Suci Sekarwati. Lastly, from Metro TV, we have Laila Zahra, who is unfortunately not here yet, but she should be coming soon. All right. So again, congratulations, and let us give a big round of applause to all the participants. Now let's listen to a few remarks from the organizers of the program. Firstly, all the way from Jeju Island, we would like to welcome Dr. Gun Lee, the president of Korea Foundation. Dr. Gun Lee, the floor is yours.
So is this my turn for opening remark?
Yes, Dr. Gunley.
Okay. Good afternoon, Dr. Dino Patidijar. It's good to see you in a very healthy condition. Dear distinguished guests and Indonesian next generation journalists, as president of the Korea Foundation, it is my privilege to welcome you all to the 2021 Indonesian Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea, a program co-organized by the Foreign Policy Community of Indonesia and the Korea Foundation's Jakarta Office. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Dino Patidijar, chairman of FPCI, and its team for working together with the KF Jakarta Office to organize this meaningful program, which I am very proud to support. I would also like to thank all of our distinguished speakers for joining this event to share their outstanding experience and vision with us. Thank you in particular to Dr. Santo Darmos Maruto, Director for East Asian and Pacific Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Professor Won-gi Che, Head of the Center for ASEAN-India Studies at the Korea National Diplomatic Academy, and to our ambassadors, His Excellency Umar Hadi and His Excellency Park Tae-sung. Dear Indonesian next generation journalists, I congratulate you all for being chosen for this program. You have worked long and hard to be with us today, and I personally thank you for your endeavors. I hope you enjoy this hard-earned moment of satisfaction before embarking to take on the heavy responsibility that rests upon each and every one of you. As you may already know, since the 1963 establishment of diplomatic ties, relations between Indonesia and South Korea have grown rapidly in many fields, from diplomacy to the economic and cultural sectors. Our cooperation further increased in scale and importance as our countries elevated our bilateral relationship to a special strategic partnership in 2017. And on November 25th, 2019, both governments reached an important milestone in bilateral economic cooperation by establishing the Indonesia-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, or IK-SEPA, intended to foster an even stronger economic bond. Through the efforts of both our governments, we have witnessed an affinity grow among Indonesians for many aspects of Korean culture, such as K-pop, K-dramas, and Korean cuisine and cinema. This in turn has naturally paved the way for greater interest in the Korean language. But as we reflect on these accomplishments, can we say with certainty that the friendship between our two countries has grown more profound and sustainable than before? Yes, our cooperation now extends to various fields. Interest in Korea by the people of Indonesia has grown, especially among millennials. But what about the core friendship between our two countries? In human relationship, it takes effort and time to build a meaningful connection. It goes without saying that even more time and effort is required in building a sustainable bond between two countries. Having said that, the Indonesian Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea program has been designed to build the core factors for a true friendship through the work of the next generation journalists gathered here today. Through the series of workshop, research, visit to Korea, and article writing you engage in during this program, you will build a profound and genuine understanding between the people of Korea and Indonesia. It is in this sense that you will carry the heavy responsibility I mentioned earlier. Dear Indonesian next generation journalists, today is the first workshop in our program. I look forward to seeing intense discussions and the vigorous exchange of ideas. Through this, we hope to improve mutual understanding between our two countries. In closing, I would like to once again express my deep gratitude to FPCI for co-organizing this program, and to our invited speakers and the next generation journalists for coming together here and now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee. Now we would like to welcome to deliver his opening remarks, Dr. Dino Patijalal, founder and chairman of Foreign Policy Community of Indonesia. Dino, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cindy. And Dr. Lee, President of Korea Foundation, thank you very much for your very kind remarks. I still remember our last meeting in Jakarta, I think last year, before COVID time. And I remember our very warm conversations, and I hope to welcome you back to Indonesia anytime soon. I also want to recognize other people who are here, Andy Bayuni, Senior Editor of Jakarta Post, and also one of Indonesia's best journalists, Professor Wong Yi Cho, Dr. Santo Dharma Susanto, Mr. Bai Sung Won, and of course the two ambassadors, Park Tae Sung and Umar Hadi. I went to high school in McLean, Virginia, in the United States in late 70s. And I had some Korean friends, and there were some Korean communities in Virginia back then. And most of them own laundromats, and they own shops around the corner, right? So my image of Korea was as people who have laundromats and people who have shops around the corner, and a poor country, because this was in the 70s, right? And then fast forward, and Korea has totally become a different nation, right? It's a nation that produces Samsung, LG, Hyundai, K-pops, that millions of Indonesians dance to, and a cultural superpower, have much to offer, and also a middle power like Indonesia. Right? So it's really amazing in just one generation how that Korea that I had in my head as a high school student in the 70s has become totally a different nation in the world. So that's the Korea that many Indonesians need to understand better, because I think these days almost everything is just about U.S. and China, right, or Japan, right? The media, these are the powers that come into our lives on a daily basis, right? But there's much to be known about Korea, right? And there's much to be done in terms of harnessing Indonesia-Korea relations. When I was in government, one of the best things that I did was being part of the diplomatic move to establish the Indonesia-Korea strategic partnership, right? And for us, that was a big deal. And I think for South Korea, that was also a major diplomatic move, right? And the advantage between our two countries is that there's no historical baggage, and there's no political baggage either way, right? And we both are middle powers, which means there's no concern about being insecure about size, relative size of between one to the other. So it's a very important relationship, one that is full of promise, and it's also a relationship whereby it's not just government to government, but there's a lot of people to people potential in it, and also business to business potential in it as well. Right? So I think it's very important to have this program, the Indonesia Next Generation Journalists, and we are very excited about it. And I'm very pleased that there's a lot of interest in this program. This is actually a very competitive program, and the journalists who are chosen here, they can be proud because it's like, winning a tight contest, right? It's very difficult. Yeah, you can clap. It's a very tight contest, and I saw the list of journalists who registered, and choosing the best 10 is really difficult. And the best 10 are not just quality journalists, but they're coming from different parts of Indonesia. So not just Jakarta, but from islands or provinces outside Jakarta. And what surprised me the most is the fact that 8 out of 10 are women, right? So maybe there's this phenomenon of the rise of female journalists in Indonesia. So let's give a big hand to the female journalists. Because we just celebrated the International Women's Day, right? Just a few weeks ago, right? So again, I want to congratulate you, and I guarantee you, I've been to Korea several times, in fact, many times, and I have many dealings with Korea. It's really a surprising country once you get to know it. Once you visit the country, once you get to know the people, the culture already because you eat a lot of Korean food here, right? I myself have a Korean vendor, Korean warung in front of my house now, right? So, but it's really a beautiful country, warm people, a great economy, very excellent diplomats. It's really a nice country to engage. So I hope your journalists will discover that on their own, and I hope this is the beginning of a long relationship and long love affair with Korea. So thank you very much, Dr. Gunli, for supporting and working with us on this project. And I look forward to welcoming you in Jakarta or you welcoming me in Korea. See you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Padino. Now today we will also listen to some congratulatory remarks from our two ambassadors, His Excellency Park Tae-sung, Korean Ambassador to Indonesia, as well as His Excellency Umar Hadi, Indonesian Ambassador to Korea. So please take a look at the following video messages.
Distinguished journalists of Indonesia, selamat siang, 안녕하세요. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome each and every one of you to Indonesia Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea. I expect that this workshop offers a unique platform to share valuable insights with prominent journalists in Indonesia on how to expand our closer partnership and future cooperation between Korea and Indonesia. Indonesia, the biggest economy in Southeast Asia region and a leading member country of ASEAN, is a key partner for the new Southern policy of the Korean government. As a G20 economies, both Korea and Indonesia are mutually crucial and beneficial partners which share core values such as democracy, human rights, market economy, and multilateralism in the Asia-Pacific region. Our bilateral relationship was elevated to the level of special strategic partnership following the state visit of President Moon Jae-in to Indonesia in 2017. The economic ties between Korea and Indonesia are rock solid. More than ever before, Korea rose to the fourth largest investor to Indonesia in the final quarter of 2020. And following this, Korea and Indonesia continue to strengthen strategic cooperation in the fields of trade, investment, and industry, and also moving forward to the areas of digital and green economy. However, I personally think that our close relationship and potential for future cooperation does not appear enough in the press, nor receives enough attention from the public. Many Korean media touch upon issues on natural disasters and terrorism attacks in Indonesia, and many Indonesian media focus on K-drama or K-pop idol story. Those news are good and enough of their own, but I believe that we can do a significant development of relations between Korea and Indonesia if media can expand the themes of articles into the issues of economy, technology, and culture, as well as ordinary people's daily life. If the media of two countries can convey useful information and shedding the light on the close relations and future cooperation between Korea and Indonesia, mutual understanding of peoples from our two countries will be much improved. And thereby Korean and Indonesian can share true friendship as brothers and sisters like sahabat seperti saudara kandung. An old proverb says that the pen is mightier than the sword. I'm confident that the relations between Korea and Indonesia will continuously strengthen with your media's support and attention. Once again, I extend my heartfelt congratulations for the Indonesia Next Generation Journalist Network on Korea. I wish all the participants a very fruitful workshop this afternoon. Thank you. Terima kasih. 감사합니다.
안녕하십니까. 저는 우말 하디, Indonesia Teza Inmida, my dear mentor, Dr. Dino Patijalal, my dear friend Ambassador Park, Dr. Gun Lee from the Korea Foundation, ladies and gentlemen, it is such a great honor for me to be able to greet you via this video message. I'm very sorry I cannot join you live, for I have another engagement. When Dr. Dino Patijalal informed me about this program, it reminds me of something that we did 15 years ago, I think also with Mr. Andy Bayuni, when we were involved in the inception of the Global Intermedia Dialogue. At the time, it was because we believed that professional and ethical journalism is very, very important in ensuring that greater understanding could be achieved among different countries, different cultures, and different civilizations. Today, I'm very happy that Indonesian journalists will have the opportunity to go deeper into the knowledge about Korea. I have been in Korea for 4 years now, and many times journalists from Indonesia ask me this question: why Indonesia is important for Korea? And most of the time I answer them by asking question, that is, why Korea is important to Indonesia. And I hope the participants of this program can think about that question while they are in Korea, why Korea is important to Indonesia. On paper, the status of relationship between Indonesia and South Korea today is special strategic partnership. What does this word special mean? And I hope the 10 journalists from Indonesia can dig deeper to see what that word really means. What kind of past experiences that the two countries share? What are the aspirations and the challenges of the peoples in the two countries have today? And what kind of future that the two countries wish to create? I think those questions are very important to build up mutual understanding, greater mutual understanding between Indonesia and Korea. Lastly, I wish all the participants the best. I hope you will enjoy your experience in discovering Korea, which is, I guess, more than just K-pop and K-drama. And I do hope also that similar program can be designed for Korean journalists on Indonesia, because as I said, it's about mutual understanding, and I do hope this program will also enhance our shared commitment to promote professional and ethical journalism. So I wish everyone good health, and thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.
I would also like to thank the public today who has tuned in to watch this launching live on our YouTube channel. Thank you and good afternoon.